Huddersfield Town vs Manchester City fans' view. As a teenager he had a squint so bad he had to wear national health spectacles. But even then, back in the 1950s, the silky skills of Dennis Law made our jaws drop. We traveled to watch him from the Pennine village of Diggle, yes that's right, Diggle where I lived, roughly halfway between Manchester and Huddersfield. In those days Law played for Huddersfield. One week I would go to watch him with my mates, the next I would travel in the opposite direction with my dad to watch Manchester City. But never has that journey across the moors had such poignancy for me as it will have on Saturday when, for the first time in more than 50 years, I go back to Huddersfield to watch Town and my beloved city in the 5th round of the FA Cup. In the 1950s the whole trip to Huddersfield, including rail fare, trolley bus, entrance fee and a pie at half-time, cost less than half a crown, 12.5 pence in today's currency. Town played at Leeds Road and we stood, of course, on what was known as the popular side across from the famous and aptly named Cowshed. With Bill Shankly as manager, future World Cup star Ray Wilson at left back, former Man United keeper Ray Wood in goal and fans' favourite Leigh Massey up front, Town were a decent second division team. And all of them playing for a maximum of £20 a week, imagine that. Yaya Toure. The scrawny young Aberdonian in their midst made them even better, especially after he had his eyes fixed. So when, in 1960, Law was sold to City for the then eye-watering fee of £55,000, it paid for Town's first floodlights. I was probably the only person on the Leeds Road terraces with a smile on his face. City has always been my first love. My granddad was at Main Road for the very first game they played there in 1923. My dad took me when I was 7 to watch us play a Blackpool side starring Stanley Matthews. And I brainwashed our son Nick, now 29, into becoming an even bigger City nut than I am. By the time the lawman arrived at City the euphoria of our 1956 FA Cup win over Birmingham, in which goalkeeper Bert Troutman played on with a broken neck, was beginning to fade. City were going through one of those all-too-familiar periods of Cityitis when, even with a 2-goal lead with 5 minutes to play, Blues fans were still biting their nails. Perhaps unsurprisingly our star man only stayed for a year before being lured away by the Lira of Torino. And when that didn't work out he came back to enjoy glory on the wrong side of Manchester. Some of us have only just forgiven him, even though he did later return to City and score a goal that contributed to United's 1974 relegation. Since then encounters between Town and City haven't come nearly often enough, with Town sadly dropping, more often than City, out of the top tier. Now they are pushing for promotion from the Championship and City, albeit after 1 or 2 setbacks, this is City after all, are once again riding high. So this is a day I relish, incorporating the magic of the FA Cup, a Battle of the Roses, and some unforgettable memories. I have already paid homage to my gods in the City shrine I have created in Arlou. I will drink coffee only from my lucky City mug, as I always do on match days. And as ever when watching City, I will travel more in hope than in confident expectation. And Town fans, no, I don't want a repeat of the 10-1 thrashing we gave you in a second division game back in 1987. Even after all these years I still have a soft spot for the Terriers. No, 2-0 to City will do nicely. I am not sure who, if anyone, the lawman will be shouting for, but I have a terrible feeling it might be that other lot, away on Sunday at Blackburn. John Stapleton is an award-winning broadcaster and journalist who was Royal Television Society News Presenter of the Year in 2004. He is a lifelong City fan,